Now, I might usually be critical of my favorite video game publisher, but I've got to give props where they're due. And the marketing campaign for the Super Mario Galaxy movie has been a masterclass I don't even need to see the box office sales first to confirm. Following the success of the first Mario movie, Nintendo seemingly doubled down, revolving its 40th anniversary around this film releasing next week. They've collaborated with General Mills to get a character in just about every aisle of the grocery store, a collaboration with Old Spice for those who want to smell like Luigi, a collaboration with Lush for those upper-class folks that want to smell like Luigi, themed cookies, numerous toys. Crazy to think, merchandising alone, Nintendo's probably making more money than I'll ever touch in my lifetime, while at the same time bringing awareness to their title's release. Awareness I feel they don't even need at this point, as it seems once a week they post something that goes viral. Yoshi ate the cameraman and had people on social media intrigued, yet uncomfortable. Rosalina looking so tough in the trailers, people started power scaling her. Just when I thought they were out of surprises, they announced Donald Glover voice acting Yoshi. Then I finished the script because I really thought it was over, just for Nintendo to spoil Fox coming alongside Pikmin and Rob, causing people to speculate their next cinematic move. Feels like hype I haven't seen since Thanos snapped half the world out of existence. Between sales of tickets and Yoshi popcorn buckets, investors might be heavily pushing for them to lean more towards the film side of entertainment. However, video games are Nintendo's bread and butter. The hype around the Mario Galaxy movie stems from the association with the Wii title most of us know and love. Likely won't be interstellar-level storytelling, it's just building on a format we already know and love. Nintendo's path forward seems simple. Rely on their vast library of games to help funnel gamers to the movie theater. But why let the excitement die down after just a movie? With the sheer number of people that will be attending theaters, I feel it'd be a huge missed opportunity to not capitalize on selling Mario's next adventure directly to those in the crowd. Now, growing up on video games, the end credits was my cue to leave the Game Boy Advance on the pillow and take care of something else during the often unskippable cutscene. Same thing for movies. Derek Dryman, you'll never know how much I appreciate the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, but I'm not sticking around to read names. Except if I've heard talks of a post-credit scene. Now, most often they hint at new movies, but imagine the music dies down and Mario pops up, tells you your journey can continue on Switch 2, holiday 2026, when Mario Galaxy 3 releases. You know how many people would receive this message? No announcement on Nintendo Today needed, more reach and less hassle than putting together a Nintendo Direct. There'd be kids seeing this in the audience planning to beg their parents for a Switch 2 on the car ride back. Older Mario fans who no longer own a console feeling invigorated to pick up where the story left off. Even parents who convinced their kids the GameCube is Nintendo's latest console and can no longer hide it. Instead of just hinting at the possibility of a follow-up, directly announcing the game to those who might not pay it any mind if it were announced elsewhere, redirecting viewers' excitement around the film instead of it ending as they leave the theater, converting this movie's success into prolonged franchise success. After all, the movie's main objective is to make Mario more accessible, which has recently been a focal point for them since he has historically been locked behind owning one of Nintendo's consoles or being on the wrong street after hours in Miami. Take their partnership with Universal, for example. Opening up Mario worlds throughout Universal's theme parks, licensing fees might as well be accepting free money. But I have no doubt their main goal is for people who have only played Mario once at a friend's house to venture through the warp pipe and be amazed at the world in front of them. There's My Mario, their new line of wooden blocks and bibs targeted at raising the next generation of gamers to be familiar with the characters before they can even hold controllers. Now, if you want to know what this Red Man's all about, you have the option to smuggle your favorite candy into a Tuesday matinee show for less than $20, all in hopes it translates to eventual video game sales. Now, that's not to say I wouldn't love to see Nintendo expand more towards film and find prolonged success in the space. At the end of the day, 60% of my stock portfolio is tied up in them because I believe Nintendo's IP is capable of selling just about anything. But as it currently stands, Nintendo benefits much more from the message they can deliver to those in the audience than they do from the price of admission. The original Mario movie is estimated to have sold $1,460 million worth of tickets. It came out 5 days into their fiscal year 2024, global hit, yet it wasn't even 10% of their sales revenue for the year. And that's after being combined with mobile game purchases and royalties. Part of it comes down to Illumination Studios taking their cut, which is something Nintendo typically avoids, developing games almost exclusively for their own platforms. But even if they were to create their movies completely in-house, Nintendo's much more likely to release another 20 million unit selling game than a $1 billion box office hit. It's more lucrative for them to stick to selling video games as their main focus. That just happens to be a result of familiarity with the franchise. Fallout and The Last of Us both received popular TV show adaptations, leading to sales of their titles spiking years after their initial release. Even the Sonic franchise, which was going through a midlife crisis, seemed to be rejuvenated by their film's success. Now imagine what it could do for a franchise that's seemingly strong as ever. I see them benefiting most from creating a cohesive universe provided by both game developers and filmmakers, following a sense of continuity the 2010 Marvel films had, where you felt the need to not skip a showing since you risk missing a detail that ties into another entry later. Introducing an intriguing new accomplice to Bowser Jr. in this upcoming movie that becomes a main villain later, or showing off a new power-up that becomes a key feature in the next Mario game they sell. Encouraging consumers to seek out Mario in both formats to experience all there is to offer. A proven formula that already no doubt pushes the Spider-Man series to the very top of PlayStation sales charts every time one releases. Venom, Kraven, Miles Morales, all characters being expanded on between great games and goated movies. While Mario movies may lean heavier on fan service than lore, given his popularity, there's much potential to draw a spotlight to certain characters that have their own series in the video game realm. Not only being a catalyst to support his close friends' presence in both theaters and your favorite HDMI port, but to also introduce existing Nintendo characters of outside franchises who don't sell as well on their own. We know Miyamoto is not willing to sleep until everyone owns at least one copy of Pikmin. Some think their inclusion in the trailer from 2 weeks ago is a tease for a full Nintendo Universe crossover, but it's more likely just because they realize it's free promo to get these guys in the movie and have fans interested to know where they came from. Maybe they plan on releasing a new Star Fox game sometime soon and want people to know him as more than just the main character of Smash Bros. Melee. While I'd love to see a Subspace Emissary-esque crossover film, seems like an idea they should pursue further down the road, as currently more does not make things merrier. It makes little sense to cast Sydney Sweeney as Daisy for a couple paragraphs of dialogue just to direct attention away from the characters they obviously want sharing the spotlight in this film. Yoshi to push his new game, conveniently launching a month later, and Rosalina for reasons I can only hope involve Nintendo's next 3D Mario title, holding on to other characters and the hype around them for when they need it, using Nintendo's film persona, which people perceive as far less greedy, to try and get a Switch 2 in your hands. I'm simply proposing a more direct method to approaching their underlying intentions. Sure, it's easy to suggest they should have lined the game up with the movie now that the movie is already wrapped up. Not like they can throw together a Mario Galaxy 3 real quick just to capitalize on the success. They might not be ready to unveil anything about Mario's next adventure this time around, releasing the Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 bundle instead of nothing at all. But as long as they take things slow, Nintendo can sustain a film presence that provides many more opportunities like this. For now, it's important that Nintendo continues cherishing partnerships to produce these movies. Illumination Studios, Sony Pictures, OVO, whoever they need to get their franchises in the eyes of more people. While there's definitely a path to build up Nintendo Pictures for them to handle marketing and film creation by themselves in hopes of a better return on their trips to the big screen, we're talking about a long-term plan. However, I don't have a long term to keep talking about it if I want this video finished before the movie releases. So feel free to interrogate me in the comments section. Maybe I'll discuss my thoughts on how I'd navigate cinemas as Nintendo in a future video. Maybe you might subscribe to see said future video. Maybe I've been locked in after work every day this week trying to get this finished and would really appreciate it. Either way, you have a good one.